Shalom, shalom, it's the brother Kadash. I want to start off by giving all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakadash, double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone. Peace, blessings, and honors to all the brothers in the truth. Let's get to it. So I'm scrolling down my timeline, right? And I'm seeing a big push. There's a big push with these devils. They're bad. They're upset. So I'm scrolling down. I'm like, okay, let me see what's making these devils upset, right? And then you got the blue lives. Let's call them the blue lives, right? So you got the blue lives. Y'all know who the blue lives are, right? The ones with the badges, right? That's doing all the killings, right? They are angry. They're mad that this new law is supposed to be getting passed in Illinois, right? And so I started doing some research. I'm like, okay, so what are they mad about? And you got all these devils that's they're supporting them, they're signing petitions and saying that this can't happen. So I'm going through it, I'm like, man, they mad because there's laws that's about to end cash bail. I'm like, well, cash bail seems like that affects my people, the Israelites. So doing more research on it, I'm saying we supposed to be innocent to proven guilty. But you set us in jail and we have to sit in jail until basically like we're guilty until we go to court and we're proven innocent unless you have this ransom, you have this money to bond out. They take your money so you could bond out and then you could go. And then they got stuff where you can't even leave out your house sometime if you get on like house arrest or something like that. All of this don't make no sense for an innocent man, for a man that's supposed to be presumed innocent until proven guilty. So these devils, so the first thing that come to my mind is, okay, so basically what they're crying about is it's a whole bunch of slave owners and slave catchers that's crying about the power that they're losing over their slaves, which is what happened when slavery was so-called abolished. When the slaves were set free, you had a whole bunch of slave owners and slave catchers, because that's where the police force come from, that were still having slaves, still treating people like they were slaves, even if they were free. My people. So it's happening all over again. But it's nothing they gonna do about it because if they're coming to pass these laws, it's something that they already have planned. They already done made their mind up about it because they're going to their new world order. They need everything to be able to go over to their new world order, and they're trying to get rid of cash. So they try to figure out how to complete this new world order. But this is crazy though, man. This is very simple. People gotta look up sometimes in these things. Like most of the time I don't pay no attention to this because it's gonna be what it is. I just follow Yahweh Shai. But I'm gonna read through this. It says Illinois legislator, and this is the thing, like it's gonna happen with a whole bunch. It's gonna start here, and I think it started in New Jersey. It's going to happen here, and then it's going to start happening to all the other states. Just voted to end cash bail. Here's how organizers made it happen. So they just voted to do this, right? And you got all these devils that's mad. They in their feelings. They angry. I'll be surprised if these devils don't go out there and start taking their anger out on Israelites. So they're mad, and they signing petitions and stuff, and got everybody behind them and stuff. The rest of the devils are following the devils because the thing is, right? They feel this way because they don't want cash bond. See, what will happen is if they end cash bail, when you arrested, I don't know exactly how they're going to do it, but this is the understanding I'm getting. When you're arrested, you would be let free if you're because you're innocent to proven guilty. So you will be let free without a cash bond. You won't have a cash bond over your head. Right now, if you're arrested, you got a cash bond. If you don't have the money, you're going to sit in there and rot until your case is over. Sometimes it could take 2 years with all the continuances. You get a lawyer, or you get the state that keeps continuing your case because they got to look over evidence. You could look up and you've been in there for a year. You've been in there 2 years before you end up going to trial for your case. If you ain't got the bond, you're going to sit in there that whole time. So now with eliminating that, you have to let these people go and release them, immediate release them, because they don't have to pay a cash bond, and then they will just show up to their court dates. That's a great thing. So why are all these devils mad? Because they're losing their power over you to oppress you. That's why they're mad. That's why they don't want this to happen. You see what I'm saying? So it says here how organizers made it happen. Illinois is opposed to become the first state in the country to completely end the use of money bond. This is a great thing. And look at the people that's with this. So-called Israelites, my people. Money bail is ransom, right? In pretrial incarceration, right? You're supposed to be innocent to prove guilty. There's no way around it. You're supposed to be innocent to proven guilty. Why am I sitting in jail on cash bond if I'm supposed to be innocent to proven guilty? Illinois is poised to eliminate the use of cash bail in the state casino system following the passage of the Pretrial Fairness Act by the state legislature on January 13. Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker, who has said he favors ending cash bail, is expected to sign the bill into law. That's great. You know, it says the policy of the condition pretrial detention, holding accused people in jail under their trial unless they could afford to pay bail, is currently practiced in all 50 states. Although New Jersey did dramatically reduce the use of cash bail, it is practice that necessarily penalizes poor people and disproportionately affect black and brown people, already overrepresented in U.S. jails and prisons. So exactly, that's what I was saying. Look, if these devils, uncles, brothers, fathers, grandfathers, cousins, were made up 80% or 90% in the jails, they will be all behind this bill to defund the police and to no cash bails. They would be all behind this. But because it's not their people, and it's 80%, 90% of the Israelites, the so-called blacks, so-called Negroes, so-called Hispanics and Native Americans, black and brown people that make up the jail cells, they don't want to lose their power. They don't want to lose their teeth. They don't want to lose what they have over you. They don't want to lose it, and that's why they're mad. Because people don't make up most of the jails. Everybody say what they would and what they think they would do until they're in that position. Change it around and put 80, 90% of their people in jail and watch how many of them feel some type of way and say, yeah, it shouldn't be no cash bond. These people are innocent to proven guilty. But since it's our people, no, they want to keep this cash bond. They want to keep these things over us to oppress us. This is why we say this place is wicked. They the ones caused the racial divide. We just want to be free and not be oppressed. Crazy, man. This even has to be a conversation, but all the people that's showing their face on there in support of the Blue Lives Matter, because at the end of the day, the Blue Lives Matter things on the Blue Lives, that's their job. That's not their life. Our black and brown people are fighting for their lives. These people, if the police gets defunded, or if these people, if they take away cash bail, these police officers could still go home and have a life and family. They could change their career if they're not making as much anymore and still have a life and a family. That's the difference. They're not fighting for their life. They fighting for a job. Go find a different job. Just like we have to, right? When we get locked up in jail and we can't bond out because the bond is $10,000 and we lose our job, we have to do what? We have to get out eventually and go find a new job. Y'all don't care about our jobs when we sitting in jail on bond, but we supposed to care about your job being defunded. Go find a different job, man, because our people fighting for their lives. There's a difference, right? I'm gonna read through a little bit of this. I'm not gonna say that. According to a statement from the Coalition to End Money Bail, among other things, the bill will overhaul the state pretrial justice system and will end the use of money bond in its entirety. Great, because y'all dangling that stuff over people's head in order to say, look, if you want to get free, pay this $10,000 bond. I know you can't afford it, so plea out. That's wicked. It says 9 out of 10 are incarcerated while they're still waiting trial. That is locked up before they been convicted of anything. So it's just nothing but them being accused of this charge, and this charge, but they being locked up before they been convicted of anything. That don't sound like innocent to proven guilty to me. That sounds like guilty to proven innocent. If the bill is signed into law, it would be the first in the country to entirely end the use of money bond. And these times spoke with here, let me go through. All right. It says, we will become the first state to completely end the use of cash bond, which means that no one will be held in jail because they can't afford to pay a certain amount of money. Isn't that a great thing? Oh, it's not a great thing because their people aren't being impressed with this. It's a great thing for my people. But if you switch it around, right, and you start oppressing they people with this, and my people are not being impressed with this, then this will be a great thing. It's crazy, man. It says this means that the standard for detaining someone is going to be higher, right? But that also means that judges will have more discretion in determining if a person will be held or not. Much more decreasing than just what amount of money they post to get out. It says, what are the consequences of having a system where cash bail is used? Cash bail systems create a coercing process for the pretrial system when people are held in jail because they can't afford to pay the money bond. They're more likely to take a plea deal, bingo, and say that they did something that they may have not done so that they can get back home to their children and go back to work. So if you dangle someone's freedom over their head based on what they would cop to, obviously they're going to have a lot more cases plea out. Exactly. And it's the same thing what the feds do. All they do is lock you up, sit you in there, put these $1 million cash bonds on some of these dudes. I mean, a lot of money cash bond where they know you ain't gonna bond out. And what they do is sit you in there, let you rot until you want to snitch, until you want to plea out. And that's why they have that high conviction rate like that, because they're dangling people freedom over their head before they even been proven guilty of anything, before they even been convicted. You know, it says the State Attorney Association wants to protect their conviction rates. Exactly what I said. Because in popular culture, the role of the prosecutor is to enforce the law and order. And so they want to have a high conviction rate and a high clearance rate. And plea deals are a big way that they accomplish that. Exactly. They keep their percentage up of saying, look, I'm doing my job. Look, I'm convicting people. I'm keeping the community safe, because they had people plea out. So they really not doing the work to convict these people. They just doing these sneaky things behind scenes to get these people to plea out so it looks good on their record. So when we take away that coercion, people are able to make more clear-headed decisions about how they want to proceed in their case. Right. And then you hear all these devils crying, man. Look, if a person comes and accuse you of something, anything, you didn't do it, right? Let's just say somebody stole the candy from the store, but they accuse you of it, and they come and a person, just a random person, right, come and take you and lock you up in a basement, and they say, look, you being tough first off, right? But after a couple months, no, let's do it how the system do it. After a year, you locked up in a person's basement. They feeding you whatever they want to feed you when they want to feed you. They telling you when to go to sleep. They got you locked up in the basement, concrete walls, right? Same thing as a jail, right? And you've been sitting in there for a year, and they keep saying, look, I'll let you free, but you got to, take this deal. You have to sign your signature on this paper, say that you did it, and I'm going to let you free. I'm only going to keep you in here for like 4 more months since you already got time served. And then I'm going to let you free. You just got to plead this deal. You come to the table, right? Let's just say after 6 months, you say no. Okay, and then you sit in there for another 3 months. They come back, ask you again. You say no. You sit in there for another 3 months. Okay, you've been in there for a whole year now. They come back to the table now and say, look, are you ready? Then you finally say, man, yeah, you done broken down. You ain't seen your family. You see what I'm saying? You lost your job. So you finally come back to the table and you like, okay, yeah, I'll do it. You sign your name on it. You do your next 4 months. You get out and then you just plan on putting it all behind you. They conviction rate just went up. You see what I'm saying? So of course you would if you was in that position. So it's easy for these devils on the outside to say, no, this is horrible. This is the worst bill passed ever. No, it should still be cash bonds, because they not in that position. Until they get in that position, then they will plea out too. Then they will see what we're talking about, man. It's crazy. But that's why the Lord said, look, the curse is going to be taken off Israel, and it's going to be put on the other nations. So they going to get to see firsthand what we've been going through. And we gonna be laughing at them. We gonna be rejoicing at them because they talking all this stuff as if we making these things up. So when they in that same position, we gonna see how they at, you know. There have been a lot of examples where this kind of organizing has been in place, and then the protests this summer became sort of a catalyst for reform. Did that happen here? Yeah. And those protests was of the Lord. The Lord is the one that's putting sedition amongst men. So this is all planning of the Lord. You know, Israel, we waking up, we keeping the law, statutes, commandments, and the Lord is starting to take these curses off us, and He's gonna start putting them on the other nations. They ain't ready for that part though, but it's coming. All right, I'm done reading that. Let me get the scripture. Let me back it up with the Bible. And this is a one-hitter scripture. It's the perfect one that I found. This is Psalms chapter 10. Start at verse 1 because it's such a good chapter, right? Why standeth thou off for, O Lord? Why hidest thyself in time of trouble? The wicked in his pride does persecute the poor, and let them be taken in the devices that they have imagined. This is a device that they have imagined. The mark of the beast is going to be a device that they have imagined to oppress the wicked, because right now you thinking taking a chip is going to be a great thing to be a part of the system, but it's not. It's going to be oppression. Why? Because they could take all your money just like that and turn your chip off, because everything's digital. Think about it. But this is one of the other devices, cash bond. You can get a bond. You can get free. We got a bond option. And then you go to look at what your bond is, and it's $10,000 cash money. Not a loan, $10,000 cash money. Oh, you ain't getting free. Let them be taken in these devices. And these devices are starting to be taken down. You see? Because they persecuting the poor. What did they say when I was reading this? They said, look, it says, I gotta find it again. It says that necessarily penalizes poor people and disproportionately affects black and brown people, which are the poor people. Look up the wealth gap between races. So this is coming straight from the Bible. Speaks about this. It says, "For the wicked boasts of his heart's desire and blesses the courteous, who's the Lord hearteth." Right? They blessing the police officer. They blessing the blue lives. They boasting of their heart's desire to keep us in this bondage. That's their desire. The wicked, through the pride of his countenance, will not seek after God. God is not in all his thoughts. Right? Because even with the law of God, you supposed to have 2 or 3 witnesses to prove that a person was guilty. You have to prove that a person was guilty before any action is taken against them. You can't just come up to a person and accuse them and do things to him and take actions against him if he ain't been proven guilty yet. Right? It says his ways are always grievous. This is a very grievous thing that they want to keep over us, and they're mad that it's being took down. Right? Thy judgments are far above all of his sight. Right? As for all his enemies, he puffeth up at them. And that's what they doing. They really are enemies. They making their stuff our enemies, as they always have did. Just like Esau, just goes back to Jacob and Esau. Esau made himself an enemy of Jacob. All that stuff Esau did was his doings that he put on him, but it was by the Lord to fulfill prophecy. He has said in his heart, I should not be moved, for I should never be an adversary. So he's saying in his heart, like, look, to relate this to what I'm saying, he's saying in his heart, because it does relate to what I'm saying. They saying they should never be moved out their place as being over us, as being on top, being in their kingdom. How are some of the ways they're over us and they're in their kingdom, that they're on top, that they're ruling the earth right now? How are they ruling the earth? By stuff like this. This plays a part in it. By being able to lock you up when they want to and set you in jail without proving that if you're innocent or guilty, and put you on a cash bond. This is one of the devices. His mouth is full of cursing and deceit and fraud. And that's what these Blue Lives officers that's getting all this backing, all these people coming in and saying, thank you for what you have been doing for us and keeping the community safe. I feel sorry that this bill is coming. Sloppy. Right? But they're really deceiving the people. They're crying and the people is coming behind them because they're the Blue Lives, and they're deceiving the people thinking that these are good things, and they know what's happening behind doors, and they know that these things is oppressing our people behind doors, but they coming out playing victim. and saying, "Look, they're defunding us. Look, they're taking away cash bail, so we're not going to be able to hold people no more. We got to keep bad people off the street," as if everybody in there is bad, right? And see, that's the problem, is that you're thinking that they're bad before you even prove that they're bad. You could think a person is bad all day. You have to prove it. They supposed to be innocent to guilty. So just like they saying on their post, it's bad people. It's very, very bad people. Right? Because they already have a mindset when they arrest you that you're a bad person. And that's against the law. So that's why this is being passed. See, they're deceiving you. It's fraud. Look, under his tongue is mischief and vanity. So the whole post that I seen with this dude, that was all mischief and vanity, that he was getting people to support him because he was mad that he's losing his power. Right? In verse 8, this is the point. He sitteth in the lurking places of the villages. They sit in the hood. They sit around the hood, right? And what are they doing when they're sitting around? You know, they patrol cars, patrolling the hood and stuff like that. In the secret places does he murder the innocent. Well, we just seen that with George Floyd. We just seen that with Breonna Taylor. And so many more, right? They murdering the innocent. His eyes are privily set against the poor. He's not rolling around your rich neighborhoods all day, every day. You know, they keep those neighborhoods safe, don't get me wrong, but they're not rolling around looking to persecute people in those neighborhoods. They just want to keep them safe. They want to keep the Israelites, the poor people, out of those neighborhoods. But they're not looking to make arrests in those neighborhoods and stuff. No, they riding around the hood. They riding around the ghettos where the Israelites, you could Google that, what the ghetto, Wikipedia ghetto, a place where the Israelites dwell at, right? Now, they're riding around the hood looking to, their eyes are prevalently set against the poor. Okay, everybody around here poor. Okay, who's jumping out that Charger? That's a nice Charger, and it's a black guy jumping out of it. Okay, keep your eye on him. Let's get to know what he's doing. How is he making money to afford that? You see what I'm saying? Okay, it's 5 black boys driving in this car. Why is all 5 of them in the car? Let's pull them over and say that they made an illegal turn, or they was speeding, or they was kind of zigzagging in the street. And then when we get to the window, oh, I smell weed. Then search the car so maybe we can find a gun or something. We know that they're doing something. So they're setting up traps. And then they know, okay, we're going to arrest them, take them in, set this bond. They don't have no money. These are kids. Set this bond. They ain't going to be able to bond out, and they're going to sit in here. And then what's going to happen? They're going to plea out, and we're going to be able to convict them. And then they're going to have a record. And then it's going to be even harder for them to get any jobs, to make any money, to do anything with themselves. So what's going to happen is they're going to go back out in the streets and just commit crimes because they can't get hired nowhere because they got a record. And then they're going to be right back in here, and then we're going to ship them off to jail and fund our jail systems. That's how it is. It's a trap. Look, verse 9. He lieth in wait secretly as a lion in his den, and he lieth in wait to catch the poor. He does catch the poor when he draweth him in his net. So it's all a trap. He drew you in his net. He knew this was going to happen. Put the drugs on the street, knowing that you're going to sell them because you won't have no other way to feed your family or make money. And he lays there and wait for you to do it. He sends undercover cops to buy from you. He builds a case on you, and then he arrests you. And then they put $10,000 worth of bond on you. Now you're sitting in jail. And then they come and they negotiate with you and say, look, we got this on you. We got this on you. We got that on you. All you got to do is plea out. And we'll make it a little bit better. We ain't going to give you 15 years. We'll give you the 6 years. It's a trap. He drew you in his net, and he caught you. Verse 10, he croucheth and humble himself, that the poor may fall by his strong one. So he's kind of like deceiving you. He's making you think that, okay, look, like that police officer that I was reading his status. He's kind of saying like, look, we're just trying to protect the community. It's bad people out there. We have to protect the community. This is going to, and if this bill is passed, this is going to endanger the community because people are going to be immediately released. They're going to get right back out because they don't have a cash bond over their head. We just want to we just want to keep the community safe. That's it. That's what he's saying. But really, it's just mischief and it's deceit. That's why we call them devils. It's vanity. It's a lie. They need to keep you in jail to keep their funding going. He has said in his heart, God has forgotten and hidden his face, and he would never see it. He would never see that these things that they're doing, these wicked things that they're doing, the deceit that they're doing. That's what they say. Arise, O Lord, O God, lift up thy hand, forget not the humble. Wherefore does the wicked contemn God? He has said in his heart, thou will not require it, but the Lord, thou hast seen it, and thou beholdest mischief in spite to require it with thy hand. The poor committeth himself unto thee, thou art a helper of the fatherless. Who is the fatherless? Who majority, what race don't have their fathers in the home? Because of these different traps, your father goes to jail. He's not in the home because of things like this. Man, the scripture's lining up perfect. It's breaking it down. Break thou the arm of the wicked and the evil man, which this is a part of breaking his arm, taking his power. Seek out the wickedness till thou find none. The Lord is king forever and ever. The heathen are perished out of his land. The Lord, thou hast heard the desire of the humble. Thou wilt prepare thy hearts. Thou wilt cause thy anger to hear, the judge of the fatherless and the oppressed, that the man of the earth may no more oppress. The man of the earth may no more oppress. This is who is the man of the earth that oppress? Because you got all these people that sign these bills, right? Legislator, right? But who do they actually send to do the oppressing? The police officers. They the ones with the guns. They the one that shoot you down. They the one that's going to come and arrest you and take you to jail. They the ones that's going to set these traps. They the ones that's going to keep an eye on you. FBI, CIA, and build a case. Federal agents are going to build a case on you. Those are the ones that's actually physically sent to do the oppression. So in that, the man of the earth may no more oppress. And these are things that's starting to head that way to the point where they can't oppress us no more, and they're mad. They mad that their power are being taken. The slave owners and the slave catchers are mad that their power is being taken. Their power over the slaves is being taken. And it's all happening by the way of the Lord. Salvation to the elect. Shalom.